Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome. So we're here today with why button mashing doesn't work. And now, a long time ago, really honestly, a long time ago, I did a reaction to Evo Moment 30. Well, which Evo Moment is it? It's the Daigo parry, alright? It's the Daigo parry. I did a reaction to the Daigo parry. And that was a while ago when I did that reaction. And I remember in one of the comments someone mentioned what because I was talking about mashing, somebody mentioned, there's actually a video by Core A Gaming who made like a video in regards to why button mashing doesn't work, and since then this video has been on my to watch list forever, and we're finally getting to it 2 years later. But hey, we are here today with it. We're here with it, so let's talk about it. Let's actually watch this and see what this one has in store for us. So this one is Core A Gaming's video in regards to why button mashing doesn't work. Also, around the time when this will come out, I don't know when exactly this will come out, but around the time when this will come out, you'll also see my first time playing Street Fighter 5. I got myself I'll show it to you actually. I got myself a Mayflash and played Street Fighter 5. I got access to the beta. I did a little bit on Twitch, and then obviously I recorded a lot just while not being on Twitch. It was my first fighting game, first one that I actually, I'm trying to get serious in, trying to actually play in, trying to actually, when it comes out, competing. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm a complete beginner because I haven't played fighting games since Street Fighter 2, and I only played Street Fighter 2 for a couple of minutes here and there when I was a kid. So I never really got seriously into it. But I am planning on doing so with Street Fighter 6. As well as maybe Tekken. I'm not 100% sure, but I am trying to give all of them a go and see which one I like, which one I don't, essentially. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe. You'll see a lot more videos like that in the future. And as I said, when roughly around the time that this comes out, I'll also upload one of the multiple parts of my Street Fighter 6, trying it for the first time as a complete beginner. So that's going to be quite fun, I think. With that said, though, ladies and gentlemen, I would say let us hop right in and see why button mashing doesn't work. Let's get ready to rock and roll. Let me just make sure the audio is fine. Audio seems perfectly fine, so let's hop right in.
Button mashing in a first-person shooter doesn't work because you just waste all your ammo before you got anywhere. It doesn't work in real-time strategy because you wouldn't even be able to select your starting units.
Commander,
yep, that makes also sense.
And mashing in a driving game would probably look like you were really drunk. It's obvious why it doesn't work in those games because random button mashing is the video game equivalent of violently flailing your limbs. Yeah. That's why it kind of makes sense that people button mash in fighting games. Most people don't know how to fight in real life. Violent limb flailing might be a good strategy for beating your younger brother or sister, but everyone knows that this is far from martial arts mastery. It is understandable why people do this. When you have no choice but to fight, it's better to do something than to just stand there getting hit like a dummy. Game developers understand this, which is why they've taken measures to make button mashing do cool.
I do want to try some
mash punch to punch a lot, mash kick to kick a lot, mash L to do all this. Stuff like this can make limb flailing a bit more dangerous, but it won't make button mashing any more of a viable strategy against people who know what they're doing.
It's a button mashing fighting game.
So what are these people doing that mashers are not? Why does button mashing not work against them? To find out, we have to go back to the beginning of a round.
Round one, fight!
Ooh, neutral.
In many forms of wrestling, the round starts up close, sometimes really close. In pistol dueling, which was an actual Olympic exhibition in 1908, the fight started from about 20 meters away. But in video game fighting, you can have a wrestler and a gunwoman in the same fight, allowing players to battle in all sorts of ranges. Guess who has the advantage at this range? And at this range?
Makes sense, the grappler.
The fight ideally starts where neither person has a significant advantage, a situation where it's neutral for both fighters. If you're mashing when the round starts, you might get hit like this. Mashing randomly fails to consider which attacks have good reach.
I almost want to try the
side
older
perspective in these
Street Fighter games.
helps you gauge distance so you can clearly see your positioning and attack ranges. Having a longer reach means there are ranges where you can hit them while they can't hit you. Why use a stubby jab at this range when you have Engine Blade? Another problem with constantly attacking is that when you start an attacking animation, you cannot block until it finishes. The longer the attack animation, the longer you're vulnerable to getting hit. Whiffing an attack and getting hit before you can block again is called a whiff punish.
Isn't that like the guy from the
Fighting games loosely
Walking
borrow
Dead or
this logic
something?
from real fighting. This whiff, then punish, is called a cross counter. Just like in any fighting sport, attacking carries risk. It's especially dangerous in games with long-range moves that start up quick, lead to good damage, and have long recovery animations when whiffing. The hard slash in the Samurai Showdown
This video is really well made, I must say.
Series is one of the most notorious examples of this. Whiffing it is
ill-advised.
Detrimental.
Another problem with constantly attacking is that you often cannot attack and control your movement at the same time. And movement matters because your positioning determines if an attack will reach or not. While you can't move
Smash is
your head
obviously
like this
connected
in
to
most
my
games, you can move
console
your
right now.
feet. When you form a strategy based on movement and striking ranges, you have what people like to call footsies.
The kick I'm doing is the most effective.
What game is this?
range
Double
footsies.
Dragon.
But the movement doesn't necessarily have to be
Don't
with
think
your
I've seen
feet
that before.
because video games have magical characters that can wheel, fly, unfly, or even hover because you happen to be a punching bag. One definition from the Street Fighter-based Footsies handbook describes Footsies as the mid-range ground-based aspect of fighting game strategy, and Hi-Fight has made an entire game around this concept called Footsies.
Footsies.
This game is so mid-range and ground-based that there's no jumping, no projectiles, and no knockdowns. But what kind of strategy can you have with something so simple? Well, the first lesson of Chapter 1 in the Footsies handbook shows one of the most basic strategies.
I want to try
Walk
so
into
much.
your
I don't have
opponent's
that much
striking
time.
range and immediately walk right out to bait them into whipping an attack.
And
Then whiff punish. Here it is at normal speed. The strategy is referenced so often because you see it across so many games.
Down forward one, down forward two is inside. That's all AK is doing right now.
Ah, Aslan, I didn't watch that
There are
Evo.
countless strategies, but
That's
their
really the
effectiveness will
moment.
differ from game
Sorry.
to game.
I mean, every Evo makes me feel like, I really want to play, a fighting game and really get stuck into it, so on and so forth. Every Evo, I mean, I watch like every Super Smash Bros. I know it's a platform fighting game, but I do watch every Super Smash Bros. Tournament that goes on every weekend, and I feel like I want to add like one or two more games to that obsession, I guess you could call it, where like I watch something every single weekend, whenever there's a tournament. So that's really, and fighting games are kind of like the things that I gravitate towards, because yes, it's a little bit stage dependent, sure, but like it really boils down to skill. Like it really boils down to execution, neutral footsies, and skill. And that's kind of what I like. I don't like some random element that you get in like some other competitive games. And the thing I do like with fighting games, it's very quick, it's very fast paced, and it's not like half an hour like, for example, League of Legends tends to be, half an hour, 40 minutes to an hour, that kind of thing, where it just takes forever for one game to finish. That is its own time and own place, but I do like more like the faster pace, like, okay, best of 3, best of 5, and it's going to be over in like half an hour at most, that kind of aspect to it, where it's like, you practice for years and years and years, but you could go out and still go 0-2, and it's like, damn it, what did I waste all that time for? It's like, yeah, I need to get better. There's a peak that I need to reach, that kind of thing. So that's why I like fighting games, platform fighting games, traditional fighting games, 2D fighting games, 3D fighting games, you name it. Whatever fighting game, I tend to like it because it feels like, there's genuine skill, dedication, and talent involved, and it could all be over like within the span of a few seconds, which is why, compared to like longer games, mentality is almost as important as a skill, and composure and mentality is almost as important as just raw fundamental skill.
This might be why it's hard for people to agree on what footsies are, and why it's kind of turned into a buzzword. And this raises the question, if footsies are about movement and striking ranges, can't everything be considered footsies?
Yeah.
Sure, but there are times when your amazing reach doesn't matter as much, like when you're up close and personal.
What's this game? That animation looked crazy. Melee.
No matter what anyone says, there is no law that requires you to play footsies. Sometimes you just want to brawl, but you can't just walk up to a skilled fighter without getting hit. That's why most games let you do much more than walk. You can run, roll, dive kick, demon flip, homing teleport, dash, rush attack, or even do a homing dash attack. These things can help you quickly bypass the fighting at further ranges and get right up to your opponent's face. Playing this way is known as rushdown, or the more derogatory Unga Bunga.
The hell is Unga Bunga?
Look, nothing wrong with Unga
When
Bunga.
people are hurling their entire bodies at you, it can be pretty dangerous.
You don't want to see my Street Fighter 6 gameplay, that's what I'm gonna say. See, I own Street Fighter 2, but I've played.
So, how the hell do you stop this insanity?
5 games and then dropped it.
If you're good enough, you can try to hit them before they can get to you. For example, hitting someone out of the air is called an anti-air, but this requires precise timing. Just like swinging in a baseball game, you can't expect to be successful by mashing.
It's true, that's true.
Mistime it and get struck out, or in fighting, mistime it and get knocked out. This is one reason the Dragon Punch, aka Sheng Long, is such a good anti-air. It covers this whole area. But sometimes their rushdown will be too fast for your reactions, which means you might be face to face. Now finally, both of you are close enough to hug.
Look, all I'm gonna say, sorry I keep pausing, but it's quite a long video, so let me keep pausing, you know, and give my piece and then continue the video, right? If you watch my Street Fighter 6 demo, the beta footage that will come out, I'll upload them on the same day. So whenever this video is out, my part 1 of my Street Fighter 6 demo will come, beta will come out. You'll notice that I lose very badly whenever my opponent jumps, and the reason for that is because 1, I wasn't familiar with the controls, the character, and the game, so it took me a while. You know, that split moment where I'm like, okay, how do I do an anti-air? My opponent is already in my face, so I really struggled with that. But then if you look at like my day 3, like gameplay, you know, I snuffed them out a lot more. Not perfect, because I still always think, what's my anti-air, you know, what's the button, but like that's kind of what, you know, how you internalize your controls, and the more you play, obviously the more like that will just come like that, you know, just immediately like that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's like these little things that I like.
But up close, the fight becomes very different for reasons other than being able to grab each other. There's little room to move forward, and the reach of your attack is less important because any attack will reach. What matters more here is who will grab or strike the other person first, which is determined by attack speed, or more technically, the startup animation. Naturally, the move with the faster startup speed will beat out the slower ones, assuming the buttons are pressed at the same time. A reason why Fox's Shine is considered one of the best moves in Melee is because it starts up in 1 frame, aka instantly.
That blue light special, man.
It's
and that
20XX.
jab that I called stubby earlier will beat out the engine blade up close because it's much faster. When you hit someone during their attack startup animation like this, it's called a counter hit, and depending on the move or game, the attacker might get rewarded with extra damage, more combo opportunities, or in Punch-Out, an instant knockout.
Let go.
So how do you know which attacks are faster than others, and by how much?
What's this game?
You
It's
could
like
eyeball it,
Fantasy
but it gets
Final?
really hard to tell when we're talking about moves with differences of a few frames. A frame is 1/60th of a second, which is the unit of time used to measure speed in fighting games.
Oh, what's this
But
song?
thanks to cool people, there are frame data guides that show you the speed of each attack. Since the one jab is the fastest move Noctis has, you decide to jab up close, but your opponent blocks it. This is where the attacker is stuck in an attacking animation and the blocker is stuck in a blocking state known as block stun. The question is, who will be the first to recover and do a follow-up attack? The answer is Blue Noctis. He gets to attack 1 frame sooner because his jab made him +1 when it was blocked. I know this because I looked it up. If both Nocti followed up with a jab here, Blue Noctis would beat out Red Noctis by 1 frame. If a move is 0 on block, they both recover at the same time, hitting each other. If a move is -1 on block, the blocker gets unstuck first by 1 frame.
This looks like a Tekken game. Is it?
This is called frame advantage.
I know it's
Each
like
of the
Final Fantasy
1,000
VII
moves out
characters
there
or
has an
whatnot.
on-block and
Even though I've not
on-hit
played Final
value
Fantasy
that
VII.
determine what your best follow-up options are.
But like the 3D movement makes me
Speed
think
of the
that.
jab and its +1 on block frame advantage is why multi-EVO champ JDCR made an entire video discussing the importance of Tekken's one jab.
초보자분들이 이 게임을 보일 때 잘 못 보는 경우가 뭐냐면은 되게 큰 기술만 많이 봐요. 뭐 넘어뜨리는 기술, 띄우는 기술, 데미지가 센 기술. 근데 실질적인 격투 게임의 과정은 누가 그 기술을 먼저 유효하게 히트시키냐가 관건이거든요.
Okay.
작은 기술을 써야지 안전하게 큰 기술을 쓸 수 있는 상황을 자기가 만들 수가 있어요. 또 원잽 자체가 실패했을 때도 리스크가 거의 없어요. 보통의 위험한 기술들은 내가 막 허치거나 막히면은 리스크가 커서 이제 반격을 당하지만 원잽은 뭐 프레임도 실질적으로 이득이고 허쳐도 자신이 당하는 후딜이 이제 리커버리가 크지 않기 때문에 많은 역할을 하는 기술을 할 수가 있죠. 이런 이제 초보분들이 잘 못 보는 부분을 이렇게 조금 작은 기술에 좀 포커스를 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
The frame advantage can also help explain why you get hit in certain situations.
I mean,
This
I
is
agree,
me
'cause
blocking Law's Dragon Hammer move. The Law players
reason I tend to
watching
like
will know
quick
that I
attack,
shouldn't
quick
be
moves.
mashing buttons here, but I did, and I died. This move is +3 on block, and its follow-up attack has a startup speed of 11 frames. That means I needed a move with a startup speed faster than 8 frames to beat out Law's attack. According to the frame data of my character, that move doesn't exist. This means no
Joyous.
matter what attack I mashed, I would have gotten hit by Law's follow-up move.
Yep.
In other
Joyous.
words,
It's a trap.
more specifically, a frame trap. Frame traps are one of the top reasons why button mashing doesn't work.
After Asuka's Wild Standing 4, on hit, you cannot sidestep. You cannot press a single button, otherwise down 2 will counter hit launch you. It's something that Fergus likes to call the scrub killer.
While being plus is great, being minus can be really bad. If your attack on block has enough minus frames, your opponent will have enough time to punish you before you
This
can
looks
recover.
so strange for like a Street Fighter game.
But sometimes, even if you have enough time to punish, you might not reach. The pushback in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is huge. One block sweep can send you back to Footsies range, and one extra fireball can take you to the end of the screen. ST Ryu says a lull to your nerdy frame data while zoning you out with fireballs. At this range, your punches and kicks won't reach, and if you don't have a projectile to fight back with, you have to dodge and close in. Mashing here will be as effective as mashing here.
Hey, you know that. Stop lying. I mashed as a kid.
These are situations where the striking ranges of punches and kicks are less emphasized, but there are also moments when movement is less emphasized, like when you can't move.
Ooh, he's got a
If your
banger of
Footsies,
choices for
fundamentals,
music.
or fireball game are godlike, you might score a knockdown on your opponent. The downed player is at a disadvantage because they cannot move or attack, while the standing player can do whatever they want. This is where the honorable player will step back and let their opponent get up and take a breather.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Of course not. This is where you
Sure.
make their life hell. While your opponent is down, you have a chance to move in closer or run away, whichever is best for your character. Depending on your positioning, you might also get a chance to attack your opponent as soon as they get up. The art of attacking your opponent while they're getting up is called okizeme. Oki from the Japanese
Never
word
heard
to
of
wake
that.
up, and zeme from the word for attack. Like a lot of beat 'em
Actually,
up
never heard
games,
of that.
you usually can't hit them while they're on the ground because they're invulnerable, but you can do the next best thing. Time an attack so it hits them the very first moment they're vulnerable. This
I
kind of
just sung
attack
the
is
floor.
called meaty, but meaty is a spectrum.
Oh, that was so meaty.
The later in your attack animation you hit your opponent, the meatier it is, and the sooner your animation will recover, giving you extra plus frames. Button
Okay.
mashers tend to eat meaty attacks like a barbecue buffet because
So, a lot of the things at this point I've heard, but now we get into like a lot of terms and a lot of things that obviously I've never heard before, and I'm just like, woo,
they're
interesting.
always pressing buttons while waking up instead of blocking. So the solution is to just block, right? Oftentimes, yes, but depending on the type of attack and direction, you have to choose the correct way to block. High or low and left or right. When the attacker makes this ambiguous for you, it's called a mix-up.
I'm gonna block this whack ass mix up.
But what if you don't want to block and you don't want to get hit? There is another option.
Grab.
In addition to being a good anti-air, Shenlong is also one of many different types of invincible reversals. If timed correctly,
Okay.
these moves will be invulnerable at the moment you get up, allowing you to go through the meaty attack and hit them instead.
I'm learning a lot here now.
So how do you defeat Shenlong and stand a chance? You just move away or block. Ryu is exaggerating about Shenlong the whole time. And of course, to beat block, you grab.
Right corner pressure, Powell going in. What's next? Another one?
Another one.
Another
Oh no.
Don't tell me four! Don't tell me four!
As you can
Okay,
see,
it's a pool
Okizeme
match.
is about commitments and
It's a
decision-making
pool.
because the timing of the exchange revolves
I was gonna be
around
worried
someone
this was like
getting
grand
up.
finals or
Some
something.
games like Tekken let you hit people on the ground and from the ground, but you still have to get up eventually. And sometimes, $60,000 can be riding on the one decision you commit to.
60,000! with one
Hey,
mix-up.
yo.
So are these sick reads or
That much
lucky
money.
guesses?
Time to
Doing
get
some
serious.
shit off of somebody's wake up as a guest.
This can get pretty political, especially waking up super while American.
Not enough to kill.
Oh, he's got him again! He's got him! He's got him!
Such is the nature of Okizeme.
Okay.
Some
Man, the
or all
music
of
in
these
this is
concepts apply to every fighting game,
dope.
but each game will have a different take on how they work. And the diversity of characters allow there to be unique playstyles within the game. But the other aspect of what makes these characters
game is
interesting is
this?
how you play them. One of the most memorable Street Fighter matches was the DreamHack Winner 2013. An unknown amateur Ryu who went by the tag Gandhi had such a bizarre playstyle, he tilted his more orthodox opponent and ended up beating him.
FSP is completely. FSP is completely. I want
Jump.
to say mind
No.
effed.
And this match kind of ended up being the Echemono of Street Fighter, a well-intentioned beginner uncompromised by formal training. But while Gandhi was playing at a beginner level, he was far from randomly button mashing. These
Okay.
jabs, even though he was whiffing against a crouching opponent, indicate that he understands quick attacks are preferable at close ranges. Him jumping back and throwing fireballs shows he wants to throw projectiles safely from a distance, and here he even does an anti-air.
Anti-air,
His
yep.
rushdown jump attacks are so unpredictable, even he doesn't seem to know when he'll do them, and when he knocks down his opponent, he adds pressure using some basic Okizeme, even closing out a round with a
Jump,
meaty
net
jab.
kick, low kick.
And of course, he uses invincible Dragon Punch reversals on his wake up to stop pressure.
I almost want to watch this game. I almost want to watch this game.
I wouldn't even be. Wait.
Although I wouldn't understand in real time what he's
Gandhi
doing.
might not have known how to FADC combo into Ultra like his opponent, but he had a semblance of the basics, and it was enough for him
neutral.
to enter a tournament, win a match, and have a great time doing it. Isn't that what everyone's trying to do, after all? This was Gerald from Corey Gaming. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, please check out the new merch store. There's some awesome new stuff in there.
Unregulated wife. No. Now, you know what? When all said and done, I very much enjoyed this video. Very much enjoyed this video. Learned a lot from this video by Corey Gaming. Honestly speaking, yeah, a lot's been retained, which is funny because, like, typically when you watch videos that have like a lot of information that you do know and a lot of information that you don't know, you don't tend to retain the information that you don't know. But the way it was broken down was the video was very well done, very high quality of a video. The only thing I'll say as well is I need to know the music. I need to know what music was being played in this video, because a lot of them I've sort of heard, but I can't recognize. I don't know which is what. So I'm just like, I probably shouldn't hit that as strong as I did, but I'm like, let me know the music. Let me know the music, because I'm currently building like a grinding playlist that's been getting longer and longer and better, but it can always use more music, because, you know, I like music. But yeah, I'll leave the original video in the description down below, you know, so you guys can check out the original video. Have a look at it, so, you know, watch it, enjoy it. And with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will see all of you in the next one. Everyone, let me know what you want me to do next, and also let me know if you want me to try any other games. As I said, now that I've got a arcade stick, you know, I'm very much interested, willing, and almost fiending to try as many games as possible for Street Fighter 6 officially launches. So let me know. I think I know who my character is. I've only played one character during the beta. Well, I've played two really, but, like, you know, you start with one. But I think I know my character now, and I don't know how good she is. I forgot what her name is. It's not Yuri. Yuri's the foot fetish one. It's not her. It's the other one. Very much like her style. But yeah, with that said, let me know if I should try any specific, you know, games. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Everyone, until then, have a nice day. Peace out, and as always, bye.